No one is a born criminal, but circumstances can change your mind and behavior, which puts you in certain situations that one may find unpleasant. Welcome to another video. This time we will be sharing with you a story of a star basketball player who was punished because of his crimes and his career was ruined. Get ready to hear all the facts about the crimes that Sebastian Telfair has committed. By the end of this video, you will know what exactly happened and what Sebastian did to become a criminal from being a superstar basketball player. So stay tuned and let's get started. Sebastian Telfair was a star basketball player who joined the NBA straight from his high school. He was a talented pro player in basketball. Sebastian was one of the biggest high school basketball stars of all time. But from being a player of the NBA, he ended up inside prison because of his delinquent actions. Well, it is certainly sad to know that the star of basketball is behind bars right now and spending his sentence of 3.5 years on conviction against the charges of illegal possession of weapons. Let's discover the facts that led to the heartbreaking downfall of the NBA star. Talking about Sebastian's criminal history, let's have a look at his career first. Sebastian was a famous, talented, and a leading player of basketball back in his high school era. He jumped to NBA straight from his high school and became a regular part of the event. He once appeared on the cover of a sports magazine, Sports Illustrated, in 2004, with the headline of "Watch Me Now." He played as a point guard in his team. Although he was just 6 feet tall, he managed his influence in the team and has played for almost 10 years regularly in the NBA. The 6-foot-tall point guard had all the talent in the world. He was certainly a big gun in basketball. Speaking of guns, well, he was charged with the possession of illegal guns at his disposal, which eventually led him to the imprisonment of 3.5 years. Moving on to his story, let's have a look at what happened back in 2006. Sebastian was also once a victim of crime. Back in 2006, he was robbed. The robber took a chain he had, which was worth $50,000. The police looked into the matter, but couldn't manage to arrest the robber. After this incident, in 2007, Sebastian was driving at night in his 2006 Range Rover with one of his friends. Unfortunately, he was driving over the speed limit. He was driving at 77 miles per hour in an area that had a speed limit of 45 miles per hour. He was pulled over by the police for speeding. The vehicle was then thoroughly searched by the police, who found a .45 caliber handgun from under the passenger seat. Sebastian and his friend Al Eden Fuentes claimed that they did not know the gun was there. Besides that, Sebastian was driving on a suspended Florida license. The case was placed at the mercy of the court. In 2008, Sebastian pleaded guilty in the eyes of the court and he was awarded a sentence of 3 years probation. Besides that, the NBA also handed him a 3-game suspension over the guilty plea. Although he was handed probation of just 3 years, his reputation was surely damaged in the eyes of his fans and followers. Nevertheless, the star was back in the game and everything was left behind, but only for a short period of time. Yes, that's right. Once again, he came in the limelight when his wife put him under the allegations of domestic violence and abuse. His marriage started to tumble. His wife claimed that Sebastian had become increasingly hostile, unstable, and violent towards her. His wife obtained an emergency restraining order against Telfair after the allegations of domestic violence against him. She filed for divorce and his marriage faced the ultimate end because of his violent behavior. Well, that was a little surprising and shocking to hear, because sportsmen are supposed to behave in a very calm and serene manner, as they have strong nerves and training. He may be the coolest man on the court, but in his personal life, he certainly lost his cool, which eventually ended his marriage. But the story doesn't end here. In 2017, he was pulled over by the police and his vehicle was searched. Wait, is this some kind of deja vu? No. It's not deja vu. He was once again pulled over by the police, and it happened exactly a decade after the last incident that happened in 2007. This time, he was driving his royal blue Ford F-150 along with his teenage cousin. He was stopped by the police because he was driving the car without the headlights on and had his car parked in a no parking zone. The police stopped him and frisked him. Upon the search, police found a lit joint, 3 loaded handguns, a semi-automatic rifle, a ballistic vest, several bags of marijuana, and hundreds of bullets inside the car. Sebastian was arrested on the spot on the charges of carrying illegal weapons and ammunition. According to his story, Sebastian was going on a shootout somewhere. Having said that, Sebastian pleaded his case in court and was found guilty again, this time with serious trouble for the man. On August 12, 2019, the court sentenced him a punishment of 3.5 years in prison for his offenses. The next day was a news day, as the story of Sebastian Telfair was the lead headline in every newspaper and news channel. He was famous again, but this time his fame was more of an embarrassment for him. He even cried his eyes out in the courtroom for pleading his innocence. He lost his cool and burst into tears when he heard about the judgment of imprisonment of 3.5 years. On the other hand, Telfair claimed that all of the guns belonged to him and all of them were legal. He said all the guns were licensed back in Florida, but he was caught with the guns in New York. He also claimed that he came to New York in a hurry and he was unaware of the fact that the guns were present in his car. He was adamant to the fact that he committed this felony out of ignorance and there was no criminal intent present in his conviction. He broke into pieces after hearing the judgment, as it was hard for him at that moment to digest the news. But what can you do? You have to pay for the sins you have committed. The gun laws in New York are very strict, and some had faced more severe punishments in comparison to what Sebastian got. Nonetheless, it was still a piece of very heart-wrenching news both for the fans and for Sebastian as well. He was a well-established player and person. He earned millions of dollars from his basketball career, but all of this was ruined when he was put behind bars. Well, if you can break a law, you have to pay the price, and the consequences of becoming the bad guy are even worse. Sebastian paid the price of his sins. You may think otherwise, but that's the truth. If you respect the laws will resultantly respect you, and will also secure your liberties. Sebastian's downfall like this is very heartbreaking. He wanted to go to China to play basketball and earn some more fortune and fame. He was an ambitious person, but his ambitions took him to wrong directions, which are punishable by law. So, with a broken heart, Sebastian left the courtroom. He was very emotional at the time of his conviction, but at the end of the day, the court is all about rules and regulations. Among other things, Sebastian was also sued by the American Express Company over an unpaid credit card debt of over $43,000. This is the story of Sebastian Telfair, a journey from becoming a star basketball player to ending up as a criminal. Certainly, his story is a little heartbreaking, but you have to do what you have to do. No one wanted to see the star player end up behind bars, but he probably got what he deserved. What do you think about the judgment against Sebastian Telfair? Tell us about your opinion in the comments section below. Also, press the thumbs up button if you like our video. Subscribe to our channel to enjoy more of the interesting stuff like Sebastian's story. Also, press the bell icon for getting the notifications about our future content. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.